I'm Levi, and you're watching The Thinking Shooter. Hello, welcome to The Thinking Shooter. So before we get into this here, I would like to give a big shout out to Allie Anderson. I'll give you a pass because I'm pretty sure your husband had something to do with this one. But you did correctly guess that I was drinking mead in the last video, and I'll give you 10 points to Slytherin. We're going to play another What's in My Cup. Here's what it is. Here's what I'm drinking here, right? It is, again, another adult beverage. So that's all you're getting. All right, so the topics for tonight. I'm going to be doing a 3-part series on the topic of situational awareness. We're going to be trying something new. Let me know what you guys think, and let's roll and get into this. Autobots roll out. All right. Woo, look at that. All right, I'm getting fancy with this technology stuff here. Well, you see me down here in the corner down here, and then we got slideshow. All right, so yeah, situational awareness, the first skill to the thinking shooter. So what are we discussing tonight? We're going to be talking about what is situational awareness and a few key concepts. So first off, what is situational awareness? So the textbook definition, this comes from dictionary.apa.org, and I think that's American Psychology Association. It's fancy sciencey people. So according to them, it is conscious knowledge of the immediate environment and the events that are occurring in it. Situational awareness involves perception of the elements in the environment, comprehension of what they mean and how they relate to one another, and projection of their future states. So in simple terms, pay attention to your surroundings. You're looking at your real-time attentiveness. What is currently going on in that moment? What is going on in your immediate area or areas that you are about to be entering? It's just your general perception of what's going on around you and your interpretation of that, your ability to. So some concepts, again, these are to preface the upcoming material, the next 2 videos. I recommend you watch this one first before you go on to the other 2, if the other 2 are out before you happen to see this one. So we're going to talk about the Threat Assessment Color Spectrum, or Cooper's Awareness Color, and this comes from Colonel Jeff Cooper from the United States Marine Corps. It is a verbal or visual representation of awareness. And then the next topic is the OODA Loop, or Boyd's Cycle. It comes from retired Colonel John Boyd from the United States Air Force. And it is the verbal/visual representation of the human decision-making process. Heuristics, which is a short, condensed, real Reader's Digest, quick and easy way of making a decision, and then the purpose of these. So, we're going to talk real quick. So, if you notice here under OODA Loop, Boyd's Cycle, I put representation of the human decision-making process. That is because it's something that we already do. They just put it in a format that you can understand how the human the human decision-making process works. So you can study it, you can understand it, therefore you can improve it because you can focus on bettering certain aspects of it. And then up here under the Cooper's Awareness Color Code, I just put representation of awareness. That's because if you watch animals, they do the same thing. Uh, for example, any hunters out there will know that animals act in a manner of very relaxed, not really paying attention. You can sneak up on animals sometimes. And then you have alert, oriented. They're looking around, they're seeing what's going on, watching out for threats. And then you have orange, or, well, not going to go into colors just yet. You have where they're looking, they're paying attention, and then they focus on something because they see something as a potential threat. And then they go into they're fighting, right? So animals do the same thing. But we're going to talk about the purpose of these real quick. So the purpose is, if you can understand these things, you can improve your personal decision-making skills and assessment of situations by understanding these things. For example, the heuristics and the Boyd cycle here. If you can understand those two, at least in a very simple context, you can improve your personal decision-making concept or decision-making skills. Goodness, words are hard tonight. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way, to everyone. You can improve your personal decision-making skills and get better at that to be able to respond to situations better and to be able to identify things better. Just like your Cooper's awareness color code or the threat assessment color spectrum. If you can understand that, for one, you can understand yourself a little better. But for two, you can understand what you're looking at when you're watching others to help you pick up on certain cues. So let's get into this. All right, so we've got the awareness color code here. We've got white, yellow, orange, red, and black. There are variants of this where I've seen it green, yellow, orange, and red, and black it's not even on there. I've seen, I don't know, half a dozen different variants of they're all the exact same thing. But let's read through this real quick and then we'll talk briefly on it. White is you're unprepared and unready to take action. Yellow is you are prepared, alert, and relaxed. You have good situational awareness. Orange is you're alert to probable danger. You're ready to take action. Red is action mode, focused on the emergency at hand. And then black is panic, breakdown of physical and mental performance. So in simple terms, white, what is fight? Yellow, you're ready to fight. Orange, you're preparing to fight. Red, you are fighting. Black, you just got done fighting and now everything's hitting you like a ton of bricks. You're like, and you're shutting down. We don't want to be in black. We want to learn how to, if we have to, get up to red and then start working back down without getting into that. Because that puts you in a state where you are not good to anyone, to include yourself, because you are now, you've got like super tunnel vision and you're just out of it. You're done. You're out of the fight. White is you didn't even know the fight was going to happen. You don't want to be here either. Now, the caveat to that is that doesn't mean you will never be in white. Like if you're at home and you're chilling, you're in white. You're fine. All right, whatever. If you're in the bathroom and you're taking some you time to do your thing, you're probably in white. You're probably not in yellow high alert status while you're trying to make a deposit. You're probably just like, oh, all right, cool. You generally probably, when you're out in public, want to be in yellow, but it's physically impossible to always be in yellow. Mentally and physically, it is impossible. Human body can't do it. Always be in yellow. Not a thing. But you need to strive to try to be in that yellow. If you're in orange, it's orange is a very short time period. You're in orange and then you're out of orange, because you're either in orange and then you realize, okay, everything's cool, and you go back to yellow, or you're in orange and then you're in red. So, but understanding this, you can also watch others and watch their actions and see what they are doing. And because there's colors, it helps you remember what these are. That's why the colors are there, is because it helps you remember the statuses, right? So if I'm like, all right, cool, I just saw some guy, he was kind of acting, he looked kind of locked in, he wasn't fighting, but he looked like he was in orange. Maybe he's kind of amped up. Maybe I should avoid that. Or Why is he in orange? Does he see something that I should see? Right? That's where this comes into context. Is it helps you to understand what you're looking at when you're watching other people as well as yourself. So, moving on to the OODA Loop. This thing here is way overcomplicating what OODA Loop is. It's very helpful, and if you would like to study it further, this is a great diagram to look at. But in simple terms, OODA, OODA, is observe, orient, decide, and act. This is a representation of the human decision-making process, right? You observe something. What do you see? I see a, what example? Oh man. I observe me looking at a computer and trying to tell you guys what the OODA loop is. I am orienting. This means I am understanding. Am I understanding what I'm seeing correctly? I am observing this diagram as I'm telling it to you. I am orienting by understanding what all of this means to relay it. Decide. I have decided to relay all this information to you. Act. I am acting upon that actively as we speak. Man, that was a really difficult example. Using the OODA loop as an OODA loop example. Don't do that. That was dumb. That was dumb of me. All right, let's be realistic about this. All right, so OODA loop. I observe, I'm at a bar, right? Some guy comes up and tries to punch me. I observe he's trying to punch me. Based on past experience, I know that at the angle he's coming in at, I could probably put my arm up and block it and then punch him, right? So I decide, hey, I'm going to put my arm up, block it, and then punch him. So I do that. So I've observed he's swinging at me. I have oriented. I understand that as he is trying to punch me in the face. I decide I'm going to block it and hit him. I do that. Therefore, I come up, block it, and then I punch dude in the nose. Now I have interrupted his OODA loop with my OODA loop, and I now have the upper hand because I have gotten inside of his OODA loop. That's how you use this. Is it's a tool to help you with your understanding of what's going on and how to make decisions more effectively. If you can understand this, which is just, it's how humans make decisions. It's just in a representation, like I've already said like 12 times. It helps you understand how to improve each of your decision-making skills, which is learning how to observe things better, learning how to orient or understand what you're seeing better, learning how to apply certain decisions to what you're understanding of what you're seeing better, and then learning how to act upon those decisions from what you understand of what you see. It's that simple. So the last thing we're going to talk about, if you'd like to know more about this, you can just Google it. Just type in Boyd cycle, BOYDS, or you can type in OODA loop, OODA again. It's a really simple concept, guys. All right, so the last thing we're going to talk about is heuristics. Heuristics is a down and dirty, how do you make decisions? I am walking down the road, I see a banana on the ground, I decide not to step on it. I'm not going through I see a banana on the ground. Based off of what I have seen from bananas being on the ground, and I'm not doing all that crap. That takes too much time. I'm not doing that. I'm just going off of banana, don't step on it, and I move, right? I'm going, instead of observe, orient, decide, act, I'm going directly from observe to act. It's quick, it's easy. You're relying on recognition of patterns or things you've seen in the past. It goes a lot off of your previous experiences, things you've encountered or seen. It doesn't require a whole lot of effort, just like, for example, I'm hungry, cereal, right? I could always be down to eat some cereal. I'm hungry, I get a bowl of cereal. I'm not thinking about it. I just observe and act. And you can do attribute substitution. So, for example, in a very crude way of explaining this, you're taking a complex problem and identifying it with a simple problem that seems similar to it to solve that problem, right? I'm sure all of you have seen the meme out there where it's talking about our current national debt, right? And it's got all of these big giant numbers, and then it's like, let's simplify this. And then it takes off a whole bunch of zeros and adds it up and whatnot. That's basically a form of heuristics where they're taking a complicated thing, applying something that's not complicated to help solve that. Now, the cons for heuristics. You can very oftentimes be wrong. Or not necessarily wrong, but not have the best outcome. Because it can often lead to you jump to conclusions because you're not trying to actually understand and interpret what you're seeing. You're just seeing and then acting. And it's also only based off of what you know. So if you have very limited knowledge on a certain thing, you can't make the most well-informed decision. It's going to be rather ill-informed. Excuse me. You need to constantly update the information that you have access to or that you are aware of, and it's not always applicable. And that's where a lot of this comes into is sometimes you have to have a better thought process. You can't just be like, I observe, this person punched this person. I'm going to punch this person. That's not necessarily the time. Did you see the entire thing? For perfect example here, right? The Kyle Rittenhouse thing, right? A whole bunch of people just heard, this guy shot someone, attack. That was them being ignorant and using heuristics to make a decision instead of, I just heard someone say he shot someone. Am I understanding that he shot someone? Why did he shoot someone? Right? They're going only off of the information that they have immediately to them and not trying to figure out the whole situation. Heuristics is more of a life-saving thought process where you see car heading directly for you, you jump out of way. You're not doing this long just smacked my microphone. You're not doing this long oriented thought process. You're just reacting to what you see because it is more of it's a natural thing that humans do. It was designed, it's a design that God put in our heads to help us be able to save our lives by quickly making decisions based off of what we see. Now, you can improve this and make it a more reliable form of decision making in certain situations by practicing what you see. This goes back to the OODA Loop thing. Let's see if I can figure out how to. There we go. You can improve it by practicing what you observe, by practicing your understanding of things, by practicing the decisions from those things that you understand, and then acting upon them. Right. So it all comes down to experience, time around a certain topic, doing a certain thing. Baseball players, right? For example, they're not seeing baseball in air. I know it looks like it's going to be about 10 feet in front of me. They're just ball, move, and they just start moving to it. It comes with experience. The more you're exposed to certain things, the better you get at them. So heuristics can become a valuable tool, but don't solely rely on them. Practice. I hope all of this stuff made sense to you tonight, guys. And again, this is going to lead up to the next two videos. Don't just take my word on things. If there's more that you would like to know, again, Google this stuff. You can rewind it, watch as many times as you like, please. It helps increase my views. I don't care. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So if you like the content, again, do the normal YouTube thing. I hope this stuff made sense. If not, Google it and make it make sense. Later. Hey guys, just want to say thank you so much for watching this episode of The Thinking Shooter. If you like the video, like the content, make sure you hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and hit that subscribe button. Please share it with anyone that you think might learn from it or might enjoy it. If there's any feedback that you'd like to give, anything you'd like to see in the future, please leave a comment down below. even if there's not, please leave a comment anyway, as it helps the algorithm for helping this pop up on the search bar. Until next time, guys, stay tuned for more content.